on to your self-image. So this is your personal image. And I remember one of my mentors, Howard Manshine, local radio legend. This is my book, Self-Made. And Howard used to say to me, I'll just tell you this story real quick. I would go as a musician to this Mona Lisa Pizza to hang out with Howard. And I had a rock band. And Howard was like a hard rock radio DJ. He was on the radio. He sounds like this. 92 City FM, Howard Manshine. It was 1967. The Rolling Stones landed in Winnipeg on the tarmac. My eyes locked with Mick Jagger for a second. Keith Richards walked by. Rock and roll history was made. This is Give Me Shelter. Like, he's just got the most like charismatic, deep voice. And he's probably like 60-something years old back then. He's probably almost 70 now. And Howard, you never see him wearing the same thing twice. He's sharp. He's a sharp-dressed guy, different types of glasses, different hats. Well, he's in the promotion business, so you gotta look good. And Howard says to me, "Oh, Steph, you gotta come out to Mona Lisa. Come out to Mona Lisa. Come out on Saturday." And Mona Lisa is this little Italian bistro in Winnipeg, and I would go out and I'd play my singer-songwriter thing because my band just fell apart. And Howard said to me, he would say, "Stefan, you got to meet this girl, Celine." And so Howard, I'm probably 23 at the time. I'm 23. He introduces me to this 18-year-old blonde mermaid named Celine. Just gorgeous mermaid, like long mermaid hair, huge blue eyes, like, oh my God, amazingly gorgeous girl. And he says, "Stefan, you got to meet Celine. This is Celine. She writes for the Winnipeg Free Press. This is Stefan. He's a musician." And so I meet her and I shake her hand and I go, "Wow, whatever." I go on stage. And then Howard starts calling me. He goes, "You got to come back to Mona Lisa." And he says, "Celine's been asking about you." And he keeps seed dropping this idea of Celine. He's like, "You should ask her out. You should ask her out." Now here's the thing. Howard's like 60. And I think he was living his own fantasies through me. But, a man his age, that's what old men do. They say, "Hey, go pick up some girls and I'll watch," right? So Howard keeps saying to me, "Oh, you should ask out Celine, you should ask out Celine." So I start asking out Celine, and she starts saying, like, "Maybe, I don't know." Hey, Tara, what does it mean when a girl says maybe? It means no. So I ask her out 10 weeks in a row, I get 10 maybes, which is like no, pretty much.
We'll see. I'll let you know.
Yeah, just see, she knows all the lines. So some lines, no, I'm not interested. Well, not even I'm not interested, just maybe, baby, every week. So Howard says to me, he watches me asking this girl out, and he says to me, "I got some men's magazines for you in the car. Come out to the car." So I go out to the back alley with Howard, and he opens up his SUV, and there's a stack like this of GQs, Esquires, Details, GQ Britain, GQ Canada, GQ America. This guy had some punishing amount of GQ magazines. And so he takes out the stack and he gives me this, "Great articles in these magazines. You gotta read them. It's a great men's magazine." And I'm like 22 and I have my scruffy pants and a shirt that says Led Zeppelin or Metallica and long hair, and keeps handing me these magazines. And then he calls me a couple weeks later, "Hey, did you read the magazines?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I lied. I said, "Yeah, I read the magazines." And he's like, "Okay, good." And then we keep showing up and I keep asking out Celine. And he says, "Come out to my car," and he gives me another stack of magazines. Then he gives me another stack. And my shelf at my mother's house was bending. It had so many magazines, the shelf was bending on it. And so I actually was like, okay, I better read these magazines. So I start reading the magazines, and the articles in GQ are like, how to pick up a prostitute in Las Vegas. I was like, well, I've never been to Vegas. I don't know what this means. War in Afghanistan, a soldier's perspective. Like, just articles I didn't understand. I thought, what is Howard smoking? And so I keep going to the bistro. I keep asking out Celine. He keeps giving me the magazines. Nothing happens. Then I get a sales job with a company out in Alberta, out in St. Albert, right in Edmonton. And I get on the road, and there's this guy named Luke. Now, you know Luke. Luke is 6'4". He's about as tall as me. He's blonde, and he's a Western League hockey player. He was. So, ready to go into the NHL. Big chest like this. Like, this is how Luke stands. If he was up here, hey, and look how I'm walking. He's like on his tippy toes because he's an athlete. And you go, "Aarnio, good to see you." And you go, yeah, and he's like this all the time, just like I'm the alpha male of the universe, right?
No, you
So Luke and I, he goes, Aarnio, get in the car, we're going to Lloyd. And he's got his perfectly tailored suit and his perfect white shirt and his perfect tie and his perfect shoes. And, everything's perfect about Luke and his image, really good image. So I get in the car with Luke and we drive out to Lloydminster, which is on the border of Saskatchewan and Alberta. And we're sitting in this hotel and I watch Luke sell because he's a salesman. And we did, I don't know, a dozen meetings or something. And Luke sold nothing. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, why didn't you close these guys? And I'm wearing my pirate outfit. I had a vest from Value Village for $1, and I had a poofy pirate shirt that didn't fit with big poofy sleeves. And I had a $1 tie from Value Village, and I had pleated pants with these pleats, French pleats, and a line that went down them because I was in like the orchestra or something. I don't know where these pants were from. And I had the long hair, and I just looked like a pirate. So I'm sitting next to Luke, and we do these 12 meetings and nobody buys. And then I start bitching at Luke. I said, well, why aren't you closing the guys? Why aren't you doing anything? What are you doing? And he goes, Aarnio, it's okay, we'll get it. We'll get the business. Okay, so then we pull out our phones. We're literally, I don't even think Luke got a hotel room. We literally stayed in this boardroom for like 12 hours. And we're getting tired. So Luke pulls out his phone and he goes, Aarnio, look at this girl and this girl and this girl. And he's showing me all his hockey girlfriends. Okay. And then I pull out my phone. I said, oh, this girl's Celine. I've been asking her out. And I pull out this picture, and she's in her a hot tub, and she has a glass of like red wine and this pink bikini top on and a messy bun, and she just looks so saucy. And I'm like, I've been asking out this girl 10 times, and she keeps saying no to me. And he looks at me. He looks at the girl. He looks at me. He looks at the girl. He looks at me. He looks at the girl. He goes, Aarnio, you got to start reading GQ. And I had this huge stack of magazines at my house Howard gave me. I didn't even know what he was trying to say. Howard just never said, hey, you have a poor self-image. Your image sucks. So Luke gave me a makeover. He said, Aarnio, we got out the GQ magazine. This is the proper hair for your face. This is how you comb your hair. This is the shirt you got to wear. This is how your pants have to break on your shoes. This is the type of shoes you got to wear. This is how it's got to be tailored. You got to get it tailored. He goes, we'll go down to Nordstrom's down in the States. I'll get you a Boss suit, whatever. So we start talking. I get some custom tailored suits, and I go back to that restaurant, and I saw Celine, and I came around the corner. I'm wearing my tailored suit. I got my shoes. I got my hair. Everything's good. And she goes, wow. And it was a totally different reaction with a different image. And what Howard was trying to tell me was, your self-image sucks.